the Hurley Investments market view commentary for the day before elections. If you want to have fun, you got to buy a hat. That's all I'm going to say. And I've got way too many. But last week, rough week. The index fell 5.6%. Really, that should have caused the S&P to be negative. So rough week in our market. In fact, it was the worst week that we've had since March, I believe is what I would say. And I'm checking my numbers. Next says year to date, the market's up 2.46. With today, though, well, it's not quite right. Not sure. Last month we were plain simple, dipped into the negative. It was a typical October. Here we thought we might have a positive October. I said it's gonna be a negative 2.0. It all fell away the last week. It recorded a negative 2.8% for the month. So actually 2.8, we should have been up 0.6% for the S&P 500. They say it's just up 1.2. That's probably counting dividends. All the S&P sectors fell this week. Consumer discretionary had the largest percentage drop, down 6.6%, followed by the industrial sector, 6.4%, and technology. Plain and simple, we're worried about COVID cases rising across the United States. Europe is getting shut down. France and Germany basically are being shut down, new restrictions. It's happening all across Europe. And obviously there's some jitters for the presidential election. So out of curiosity, what caused our bump today? If you are watching today, what caused our bump in our markets today? And it's funny because someone says you keep asking a lot of questions. Asking questions keeps you engaged, keeps you thinking. I'm trying to have you guys think. And if you don't know what caused the bump today, just go ahead and type a question mark in. But I'm doing the best I can to get you guys to think, to understand what your money is doing and why. That's why I keep asking these questions. I love it. A decisive victory. And William, Trump's going to win the election. I like where your head's at, but I would doubt that it's either one of those, to be honest with you. So think a little bit more. What else could it be other than that? Election hedging. Ooh, that is a very good one. Interesting thought. Let me make it simple. What usually happens at the end of each month when funds go through rebalancing, and what happens with new money as they come in each month? New money entering the markets. There you go. This is nothing more, most likely, than old money leaving, rebalancing of portfolios, and new money coming in. That's what most likely our bump was today. So when people ask me, what do you think it's going to do tomorrow? Man, I have no idea. I absolutely have no idea. But it's fearful that it might get really ugly. That's the big concern. Things could get really, really ugly. So for that reason, we protect, right? We don't go in gambling. Well, Kevin, if you pick a direction, that's not gambling. Maybe. I kind of agree. But the short answer is if the odds are stacked against you and you're trying to if the odds are stacked against you and you're trying to outguess the market, you're more likely gambling with your money than investing it. Again, I want to recommend everyone go back to last week. I had 2 YouTube videos, if not 3, linked into all those. Go back and listen to the Munger, Buffett, Mark Cuban, why diversification is for those that aren't smart enough to invest in the stock market. It's a really good 12 or 16 minute video. You've got to watch it. So the short answer is, I don't know. When people ask me where our market's going to go this week, I don't know. I literally do not have a clue. Depends on the election results. I might tell you it's going to go higher either way. Boy, I remember watching Trump get elected last time, and the Dow futures being down like 800, which is like almost 4 and some percentage 4 years ago. It was huge. It was a huge percentage down. We opened up negative about half of that, then we turned positive. What a wild day in the stock market. Chances are I'm not even sure I'm going to pull anything off. It's going to just be a wild day. I'd rather be protected than just let it ride. If you look at our markets aren't really, at least from my view, I don't see a whole lot that we're being told. We're bearish. We're holding the 200-day, but I do believe if Biden gets elected and the way he wants to raise taxes, the taxes will outweigh the stimulus by a ton. People just got to be smart enough to do some math and figure this out. We're dropping below the 200 and all bets are off. You know, the bottom's going to come up. It would not surprise me if we're down 35% again and retesting the lows of the year. If we're retesting the lows of the year, let's get this out just a little bit farther. If we're retesting the lows for the year, because taxes are going to increase by 33% for businesses as a minimum, we're looking at a range of 16 to 13. That would be about a 10,000, excuse me, it's 18 to 13. That'd be about an 8,000 drop from right here. If we looked at the SPX, you'll notice it's also bearish. If taxes and business are going to be treated unfavorably, we're looking at being at, where are we at? 33.10, going down to 21.91. That's about a 1,200-ish, 1,100 drop. And if I do the same thing for the NASDAQ, here we go. 10,957 back down to 66.31. Now I know someone, and I see a couple of things that have come in. I know someone will come in and will tell me, hey, you guys able to hear me, by the way? Just do a quick sound check. If you're able to hear me, let me know you can hear me. Just as a check, Kevin, are you being overly negative? And someone really came and said, you just don't understand what the stimulus means to people. And with all due respect, the stimulus, small business, retail trading has next to no impact on our stock market. So yes, I'm biased. I am biased at what I think, who I would like to win. But I'm not biased when it comes to the stock market. The numbers have to say and justify what I'm doing. The risk is too great right now with an evenly contested and or Biden win on the media. It's too evenly contested to not be protected. We're too close to the 200-day for a pretty significant drop to the downside. The lows of the market that we've already tested this year, and we now have worse COVID numbers than we ever had before, and our market is completely shrugging it off, when at the beginning of the year, we lost a third of our market cap. You've got to be, how would I say it? You know what? There's no way to say it politely. You've got to be an idiot to just be blindly invested, diversified in our stock market right now, when you can't seem to figure out the numbers, or you can't add what the numbers have been in the past, and they've been significantly worse. So my short answer is, you got to be protected. You absolutely have to be protected going into this. And I'll be honest with you, as we get closer to the voting, I don't know. Never underestimate, and I'm not saying, I'm saying this in a broad spectrum, never underestimate the stupidity of people. It all sounds really good that you can get something for nothing until they realize, hey, it's got to be paid for in some way, shape, or form. I'm pretty sure someone that might be homeless has never created a job for someone else. I'm a little worried that if we keep picking on what some people deem the rich people, I'm afraid that if you keep picking on what we call the rich or the ultra rich, they will say the hell with you and run off to somewhere else. And that's a lot of that would be a shame, is the short answer there. Two of you, and it's funny, it came from my Brazilian and from my Englander, right? We are coming near the vaccine. So my brother works for a medical company that's in charge of 10 million needles. And they've basically been tasked by the US government to stop doing their other stuff and come up with 10 million needles. And you know when the government is predicting that they need to have those in by? Take one guess on when they're going to come up with the needles for sorry, I'm messing with some stuff here. Take one guess when they need to have the needles in for the I want to say the shots, but that's not what I'm looking for the applicators for the shots. When do those have to be in by? The 15th to the 30th of this month. Nope. Try again. December. Nope. Try again. Farther out in time. Next June. Listen to our doctor. That is what it used to be. It's now been pushed till the end of July. I'm not sure right now we even have enough of the syringes and needles to apply the vaccine in the mass quantities that we're supposed to. And it's funny because our doctor just said, and that is still a definite maybe. They were told to have them ready between April and June. They said if we shut everything down, it won't be till June. And now the government says, well, you have till July 31st. And that's just to have them done, not to have them shipped anywhere. That's just to have them done. Our resident doctor here still said, still no working vaccine. We might not even have a vaccine that's approved and ready to go by next year. One more scary thought to throw out there to everyone, which really makes me wonder if Joe Biden gets elected, how he's just going to stop the pandemic overnight. Really, I scratched my head on that one. All right, so bearish on the Dow, still bearish on the S&P. We're also bearish now on the NASDAQ. This has now changed. All right, let's see what we have coming up here. Earnings. I can't believe I haven't typed these in yet. I've been looking at stuff and I completely forgot. So let me get to my paper. Earnings coming up, especially for today. Clorox. Ellen McPherson, right? Just kidding. Waste Management, Mosaic. PayPal is an interesting one. Rambus and Sky Networks. Someone just typed something in, but it's just good public health standards. Has there ever been a vaccine for any virus? Of course. So no, there's not a vaccine that cures a virus. It's antibodies to help you. So good point, Mr. Brandner. All right, here we go. Where's the next one at? Tuesday. Emerson reports, Humira reports, Johnson Controls reports, and Merrick reports. I think that's who that is. Hilton reports on Wednesday. Wendy's reports, CF Companies reports, GoDaddy reports, oil reports. Vacation is Marriott. New Skin. Qualcomm would be an interesting one. Wynn Resorts would be an interesting one. Some interesting ones to pay attention to there. Thursday, so I flip over my, everything's reporting Thursday. Gold, so there's Barrick, Bristol Myers, Cardinal Health reports, CNK reports, Dominion, Duke Energy, General Motors, Lending Tree, Murphy Oil. Poor oils, man, they look awful. Office Depot, Pizza, I think that's Papa John's. PPL reports, 3D reports, Electronic Arts reports, Flowserve, GoPro, HLF, Herbalife, IQ, Roku, more importantly, Baba reports, and Baidu should report. And then last but not least, CVS and MAR. All right, economic reports. Construction spending. ISM manufacturing. And we had auto and auto and trucker tomorrow. So tomorrow we do factory orders, not important, right? Auto and truck sales. Wednesday, MBA, ADP, employment, trade balance. And the ISM, they call it non-manufacturing. I'm just going to call it services numbers come out. Thursday, initial continuing claims, productivity, unit labor costs, and the big one here is the FOMC rate decision. They're not going to do anything. Let's face it. That'd be the expectation. Then on Friday, average work week, non-farm payrolls, private payrolls, we have unemployment rate, we have hourly earnings, we have wholesale inventories, we have consumer credit. A lot we have coming up. It's just your average work week reports that are coming up. Someone asked about Baidu. Baidu earnings release. Estimated report earnings on the 4th. It's still estimated. They haven't come out. Thought it was the 5th. We don't know yet. So you got to pay attention, but we're already protected through earnings. That's the good stuff. Obviously, most importantly, U.S. election internationally. How am I looking to trade? We're just trying to get through elections and earnings. Nothing has changed. I found an interesting article. It's trying to rip on the Democrats, which they really shouldn't. But what it goes through is the new cases and where we're at with COVID today. It's shocking for me because if I go back to the Worldometer coronavirus, Utah's highest we had was, 683 back in the day. Come on. Well, our death rate is remarkably low, comparatively speaking, considering we have 47 million. So now we're down in that roughly a little over 2%. But our daily new cases spike is astronomical. It's just absolutely awful. It it starts to worry me. I go to the USA, who of course is leading the world in something yet again. I like that we're still at that 2.3. It's going to be pretty close to being 2.4 death rate. Let's just say I don't like it, but for plain and simple numbers, Utah had 1,196. We had 2,200 yesterday, which really isn't a lot, but it's the most that we had. 2,292. The chart does not look like we're plateauing, right? It doesn't look like we're plateauing at all. More for a US numbers. Where's our graphs? Our projections, which I don't think are too unrealistic. Our projections look awful. And we were all freaking out in April and May of this year, right? The death projections look absolutely horrible. Look at the infection rates. We are just going to climb to new highs on a daily basis. Hospital resources, this is where it comes to those ICU beds, right? That's scary. Are we going to run out of ICU beds? I finally have people that are close to me that are, you know, hey, I've got COVID. And the weird thing is, it's all across the board. Oh, I've never been so exhausted I couldn't reach to get a glass of water. To, man, if this is as bad as COVID is, I'm going to tease people. And you're like, wait a second. Where are you coming off with that garbage? It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. And I don't know. I'm not sure what to say, to be honest with you. We're there. I mean, we're so much worse than we were before, and people just aren't getting it. So I guess we'll figure it out, right? We'll figure it out. We'll see what we're going to do. It's kind of sucks. It really kind of sucks. And it's not a good way to let's just say it bothers me. So throw the Democrats aside, a really crappy title for this. It really is slanted positively. But the numbers don't lie. The numbers just don't lie. And you have to go through and you have to look at the numbers. Yeah, compared to other places, we might be doing better and per million people, blah, 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 blah. But still, I'm comparing to where we were earlier in the year. And it's not impressive. The numbers just aren't impressive, period. Yeah, there are other countries that are doing worse. Who cares? Worry about yourselves, right? Worry about your own country. Daily tests that are positive. We were under, 3%. We're now over 6%. We're doing awful. Fatalities, I do like this one, that they're coming down as a percentage. That does make me think, and Maud's probably going to really yell at me for this one. It's probably not any worse than a really bad flu season, but it's more cases should have equaled this. Kind of goes back to we shouldn't have worried so much at the front, but it if we go back to shutdown mode, just much like what Europe's doing already, the comment was just made, will it affect today's market? It will. It'll affect world markets again. And we're moving off to that shutdown capacity. There are some ways you can slant it that makes you look good, but the short answer is we're twice as bad as we were when our market lost 35% because of it. So that's the short answer. Apple's weak iPhone sales. Let's face it, they didn't have an extra month to sell phones, people. This isn't that big of a thing. Apple's going on sale. Enjoy it going on sale. We will look to dollar cost average and put some more money to work once we have a clear direction after our market. And then I just have a little bit about last week. Just a little bit about last week so that you could see what it was compared to March and what our 1 week was, plain and simple. I found a really interesting article, and yet again, I don't get it. Let me restate that. I'm blessed that I'm not facing what some people are facing, being out of work. There was a time where $1,200 meant the world to me. $1,200 doesn't necessarily mean the world to me right now. I've never had to choose between paying rent or buying groceries. Part of that was if I was out of food, I'd always pay my rent and I'd go do more fishing, or I'd go catch a squirrel. A little bit different. This gal is 30 years old. She lost her job because of COVID, living off of the unemployment benefits. It's just an article to put this into perspective. I hope that no one is living paycheck to paycheck through this pandemic. But there are a lot of people that are. And that's where I miss it. Because I don't have family or close friends that maybe this is affecting. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm not going to understand. I'm not in these people's situation. But I did want to point it out that we need to be made aware of it. We need to be made aware of it. And if another big stimulus package can make a difference here, I got no idea how we'd ever pay it off. The United States is in so much debt, we're going to go bankrupt. Part of me wants to say, just do it to help these people out. Part of me wants to say, we're fiscally irresponsible if we do pass another $2 trillion stimulus package. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. But I am going to tell you that I probably have not done enough for those that I know that are in trouble. I have been feeding a family. I have been giving out meat to a couple other people that I have extra with the cows. But I probably haven't done enough when I see what some people are really going through. So the short answer is, I hope I get to do more. I hope I get to do more. I don't know if the stimulus is the right thing. I almost want to tell you no. I'd like to see those that can take care of those that maybe can't take care of themselves right now. But I also think maybe our country's so divided that that might not happen either. So if I can make a suggestion, find those people that need the help. I will commit to doing a better job of finding some of those people that could use the help that I truly don't understand their situation. With that said, any questions you have for me? There will not be a trade findings tomorrow. That's just common sense. I will get them set up and you'll get your emails with the next batch of them running through to the end of the year. But any questions for me in regards to anything market related? We are basically covered and protected through almost everything. Apple did come out with a new streaming plan and extending it out for free for people that are buying new phones and so forth. I don't see any questions coming in, so guys, get out and vote. Stay safe. God, it's twice as bad as it was before, so stay safe. And boy, you want to know the only good outcome where we don't have rioting and we don't go through a big issue? There are probably 4 outcomes for the election. Biden wins big, Biden wins by a little, Trump wins by a little, or Trump wins big. And I'll be honest with you, the only way that we don't have rioting and people jumping off the deep end is probably if Biden wins big. That's just what we're looking at. Guys, have a good evening. I appreciate you being here today. I'll give you a quick call back, and Jim, call me tomorrow afternoon. Guys, take care of yourselves. Have a good evening. Go vote, and we'll see how this turns out. Talk to you later. Good night, everyone.